Hello, 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 you beautiful humans, you epic humans. How are you? When you pop on, say hello. Let me know where you're popping in from. And I'm just doing this really quick. Here we go. Forgot. There we go. All right. So, hello, hello, hello. This is going to be a live that will absolutely change your life. This is going to be a live that's absolutely going to expand your mindset. This is going to be a live that absolutely, if you're here to do something massive in the world, you want to be on. Because I have some big, 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 exciting, expansive news today. What an honor it is to be using this platform. So, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Colleen Gallagher. I am the CEO of Colleen Gallagher International, and I'm the founder of Global Citizen University, leader of the new freedom world. And you are on the correct live if you are someone who's an activist. You are on the correct live if you are a STEM leader. You are on the correct live if you are a social entrepreneur. You are on the correct live if you are here to do a massive thing in the world. And if you desire to make an impact, if you desire to become part of the largest peaceful army of love, if you desire to understand what it means to become a global citizen, if you desire to stand in your truth and understand how you can absolutely live with divine freedom and impact the world, this is the live for you. This is the place that you want to be. So 3 things that I want to tell you or share with you that have really inspired me, they've really motivated me to come on today. And they've really moved me to devote my life's work and my voice to this mission. And there's these 3 things that I really want to say, and I want them to sink in. And the first part that I want to say is currently 80% of the world is living in poverty, living on less than $10 a day. 80% of the world is living in poverty on less than $10 a day. Let that sink in really quick. The second one that I want to touch on is that 65 million people are displaced people, refugees, or have no citizenship in the world. 65 million. That is larger than most of the average country's population. And that number is growing by there's a new displaced person every 2 minutes. Think about that. There are more people right now in the world who have no citizenship anywhere in the world because there's a civil war on their country and no other country will accept them. 65 million. And the third thing that really inspired this live and has really moved me to create this is China's had one of the fastest growing economies the past 2 decades or so. And the reason we look at research of why that's occurred is step number 1 is that they're the only country that has national healthcare and education. Now, I'm not saying that their healthcare and education is tip-top, but everyone should be modeling after China. But I want to say that the US, the 3rd most populated country, only has national healthcare. India only has the US has national education. India, the 2nd most populated country in the world, has national healthcare. Well, I wanted to do another statistic to even dive this in further. And this is just to show something of where the world is at currently is the USA is spending around $590 billion on the Army. And the USA is spending about $69.4 billion on education. Those are 2017 numbers. Now, when I looked this up and I went deep into this, I realized there were some things I really cared about. I realized the little activist in me, the little love warrior, the little goddess in me that exists got really riled up. And I was like, oh, this just can't be right. There has to be more that we can do. I feel like I can't live into this purpose. I can't live into this place. I want to live with, impacting these people as this activist, as this human, as a social entrepreneur, and as a coach. And I wasn't really like getting my niche. I wasn't really like understanding like, okay, how can I impact to make a bigger difference? what can I do? Because I was so frustrated at all these numbers and all the poverty and the way that I've been learning as I'm getting my master's and I'll be going for my PhD, and of how the world unfolded and how the world is still folding. And that is why I'm on this live today. So if you care about these things, this is absolutely the live for you. If you truly care about making a global impact, living with divine freedom, this is absolutely a live for you. If you care about becoming a global citizen, absolutely a live for you. And I wanted to share this because as I'm launching this university and as it's coming to fruition, start date will be January 15th for the university that's launching, I wanted to call in the STEM leaders, the CEOs, social entrepreneurs that will no longer tolerate 80% of the world living in poverty, 65 million people not belonging to a country, and the USA spending $590 billion on their military and surpassing education, healthcare, and creating a place for these refugees and people trying to get in. And it's not just the USA. I want to get in, won't get into just that country, but anyway, for the pact of this live of why this really inspired me and moved me was these statistics. So I can't stand any longer being a bystander on this. So I'm creating this university and I'm calling in the leaders for this who want to use their life's work, their life's research, their life impact, their life knowledge to be part of this university and to teach other people who desire to make an impact, the activists who want to live with freedom, the activists who want to see their life work, be able to create the structures for this university for people to really see how they can do that with their life's work. So anyway, this live is going to be for people who deeply care about this and who are interested in getting involved with this and care about lifting the vibration of the planet. So before I go into how you can get involved and the different tiers there are to this university and how it's going to work, I first just wanted to take an even further step back. And I wanted to talk about why I'm here and why this became so important to me. And the thing that I wanted to share is that this all started for me at a very young age, at the age of 14, when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Some of you may or may not be able to see the scar still on my neck. And what occurred from a very young age is there was a dad that yelled at a mom. And I was in the hospital playing with the little play cubes. And what he said is that the only reason we're in this position to not pay for our daughter's treatment is because you're a stay-at-home mom. Now, what I didn't know at that time, but what occurred is I thought that I had to have money to have love and that I have money to not die. So I ended up going on this like crazy money path, like let's get all of the money that we can so I can get all of the love in the world and like be super successful and like make this massive difference. Well, that didn't work out for me so well. I ended up graduating Michigan State University, go green, with a business major. And I worked for a $23 billion company. And I traveled all over the USA. I was getting promoted. I was in Arizona, Texas, and Maryland. And I realized that I wanted to make a larger impact. I wasn't doing what I desired. And so I ended up leaving that job to move across the world to New Zealand to fulfill my dream to live international. And I manifested a job with a $400 million company. And from that place, I started covering Korea, Taiwan, Japan, all of these kind of different countries, as well as Australia and New Zealand. And one thing I started to notice when I was in this corporate culture is there were so many people that were sacrificing their dreams to get a short-term money goal. There were so many people that were wishing or to have freedom or to travel or spend more time with their kids, but they were sacrificing that just to get money. They were sacrificing all of this at a very great cause. And I was in New Zealand, I had about 300 hours of yoga and meditation. And from that place, I realized that there was something greater to this. I realized that there was something more to this. And I desired to understand why the third world and developing nations were being used for manufacturing, why the natural resources were coming from them, how the developed world and developed nation was really not giving them a free opportunity or an equal opportunity to rise. And in January of 2018, I ended up leaving my corporate job with $5,000 in my bank account. And since then, I've traveled all over the world twice. I've written a book. I've grown my social media platforms to around 20,000 followers in 10 months. I've invested around $85,000 in my personal development. I'm getting my master's in global technology and development, where I'm looking at refugee camps and how we can impact them with social media. And I have every intention of getting my PhD in international relations. So to say that I'm very passionate about this and that I've really devoted all of my life's work, really 10 years of research on my own life, of talking to people, of what makes people passionate, what makes people live in fear, seeing people die from cancer, seeing people in third world and developing nations not have the opportunity for education, for healthcare, to live a truth. I won't tolerate it any longer. And I'm here as the leader of the new freedom world, as the leader of the largest peaceful army of love, to invite you, the STEM leaders, the CEOs, the social entrepreneurs, to rise up and see that this is the way you can make the impact you desire, to rise up and see that this is your time, to rise up and see that the moment is now. And I really invite you and I welcome you. And I wanted to create this live, to create this space, because I know there's so many of you who are on this place that are so frustrated as well. I know there's so many of you that I'm connected that are absolutely brilliant and that really desire to make an impact like this, to be a leader of this. And, you know, I have a team currently, but this is going to keep growing, right? We're creating an army. You know, as I said, with the largest military in the world, with the US being $590 billion, there is absolutely no reason that with every single person I'm connected to on here that we cannot be contributing or creating a global economy that's more than $590 billion to make an impact that we desire, to live with the social change that we desire. There's absolutely no reason. So this university has 4 pillars, and I'm going to go into each of them, and I'm going to then explain how you can be able to work with this and co-create with this. So the first pillar that we're going to be working on in this university is Freedom 101. So what is Freedom 101? It doesn't matter. Well, the reason that it's Freedom 101 is because many people don't believe that they can live with freedom. They don't believe that the freedom lifestyle can be true for them. See, many people, when I tell them I travel the world, I don't have a home, I literally live wherever I want, they say, Colleen, that's not possible. I'm not understanding what you're meaning. But see, what this is for is that, you know, within 10 months, I've made it around the world twice. I've been to 35 countries, and I've been to 28 of the 50 states throughout my life. And I'm at the age of 25. But what I feel from this is I desire with this pillar for the leaders who desires, their passions, their mission, to see that everyone desires and everyone deserves to live a freedom lifestyle. And it's absolutely possible for every single individual to spend the time they want with their family, to live where they want, to work when they want. I desire for the people who have that same mission, who have that same calling in their bones, this pillar would be something for you. This pillar would be something that you would be able to co-create with. Now, why this is so important. What is the freedom lifestyle? I really want to help people understand what it is, how they can do it in their life, and how easy it gets to be. All the ways and how easy it gets to be, because there's so many ways to do it. So this pillar is all about starting people on what is freedom, getting them the clarity, and how they can implement it in their life. Why this is so important is because I've seen so many people, as I talked about, in corporate America, sacrifice their dreams, sacrifice their time. I've seen so many very successful people, as we do in Hollywood, let's say, or on the news, that sacrifice a lot of things for freedom. I don't mean freedom just to have financial freedom. I mean freedom to live from the heart. I mean freedom to do what you truly desire and to spend that time with people you really care about. That's Freedom 101. That's the first pillar in this, in the new freedom world, in the largest peaceful army of love, in the place that we understand that it's not economies or economists that will change the world. If that was the truth, we would have just used the economies from the developed world and took it into the third world and developing world. But the thing is, that doesn't work. So this is for the people that understand that the first part of this is getting the social injustice, the social truth of freedom ingrained in every human. And from that place of social freedom, that will create political and economic changes in the global economy and in the global world. The second part, the second pillar that we have here at this university is Citizenship 101. So why citizenship? So the first part that I want to say is, what does it even mean to be a citizen? So many people, depending on what country you're in, like have an exact thing like the US, like go vote, and maybe other countries like be more sustainable. Like, what does it mean to be a good law-abiding citizen? I mean, some countries you don't even have electricity. So what does it mean to, be a citizen? And I feel this is really important because as the online space is growing and as we're becoming more interconnected, as people are talking about having meetings on the moon, just really real, what is citizenship? And I want to break that down for people of all the things that I've learned. And I want someone who's been on here, who studied citizenship, who studied and traveled the world, to be able to break this down for people. What does it truly mean to be a citizen? What does it truly mean to live your life impacting the world, no matter if it's a small scale or large scale? But what does that mean? And even at the smallest scale, by what you buy, how that could impact the developing and third world country. Breaking it down to that importance. Because truly, until we live into that space, until we truly breathe life into that space, of people seeing how impactful they are as one human being, how just being a human, that they're already a global citizen, that they're already making a global impact, that they're already living from a global place, that's what I desire to create. That is why this pillar is here. It's because each of us are already global citizens. If you're on this platform watching this, you are already a global citizen, whether you know it or not. This pillar is going to break that down and bring more clarity to that. And the why with this is that to really be a global citizen, you have to start embodying this, that everything you do, from the way you talk, from what you buy, to the way you post on social media, to the algorithms, all are actually already impacting the global world. They all are impacting a global place. So that's why this is so important. And citizenship for me, as I said, I've been to 35 countries. I've been all over the world. And really, when people ask me where I'm from, I really say the world because I don't have one home. I really am always traveling. I don't remember the last time I've had a stable place for more than 8 months. And really the last year would be 2 months. And really that it's pretty weekly that I'm always transitioning or moving around. So I really do believe the world is my home. And I believe this is important for everybody to be understanding because we are so interconnected. And love is really the true answer with this. The third pillar that we're here to talk about today is purposeful contribution. So what is purposeful contribution? Why is that here? So many people can contribute to the world, right? Like when I was in corporate, I contributed through my job. I was a senior sales executive. I was doing account management. I can contribute at walking down the street and picking up trash. Like there's so many ways to contribute. But the thing that I've really learned and why there's such a mental health crisis in the whole world right now, which is also proven if we go into data and statistics with technology, is people don't feel they have purpose. People don't feel they have clarity on what that means to them. And people don't feel that they can actually contribute to what they care about. So this is to start people understanding back from freedom and citizenship, how once they know how to live a freedom lifestyle, once they know how to be a citizen, they can understand how to purposely contribute in the world, how to purposely live their truth, how to purposefully execute on these things, no matter how big or small it is, because they know that it matters. And see, when I really believe when we have people purposefully contributing to the world, there's pure magic that happens. There's money that just appears. There's abundance that shows up. There's new collaborations that come into place. And recently I just saw something about a purposeful contribution. A great example would be Jeff Bezos just created a $2 billion organization. And I think that's great, but what's that money really doing? What are the social structures it's really influencing? It's great to give money, but purposeful contribution creates social structure. Social structure, by what I mean, back to what I said in the beginning of China is the largest economy, or fastest growing economy because of healthcare and education. So with purposeful contribution, what are you doing to maybe create a new way of educating people? What are you doing to create a new way of healthcare? What are you doing to empower other people to see they have an opportunity of freedom, to see that they can co-create with your vision, with your purpose? What are you doing to that? And why this is so important to me, as I said, is I used to do contribution. I made a lot of money from it from a very young age, but I was so unhappy. So unhappy. And I was seeing so many people forgo their dreams. It was coming at a great cost of mental health. It was coming at a great cost of spending time with their family. And I decided that was not going to be my life. I decided that was not for me. Was not going to do it. And the other thing that I wanted to say of why it's so important to me is that I had 3 or 4 friends that told me that they passed away because of cancer, and I didn't for a reason. And that really stood with me. And I really realized as I was going on this whole self journey, that I really desired to make a purposeful impact. And that I wasn't just here to do something, because if I had people tell me that they passed away, but I made it for a reason, that there's no way I was going to compromise. There's no way that I was not going to figure this out to make a global impact, because I know that there's people counting, and I know that this matters in the world. So that's why this is the third pillar, purposeful contribution. The last pillar, the fourth pillar, which is equally as important, is policy 101. So what is policy 101? So many people, when they think of policy, they're like, oh, economic, political reform, healthcare reform, whatever it is. But the reason I wanted to break this down is policy, what social, economic, and political. Those are the 3 main policies people think about. But really, policy is so much deeper than that. And here's a great example that I'd like to give. So currently, South Sudan is one of the most corrupt countries in the world. And you have a lot of NGOs, and you have a lot of money that's being thrown at it from the United Nations and other people. But see, the thing there is that you have economic and political people coming in trying to fix the system. South Sudan of how people are going to be educated, how there's going to be equality, how to stop civil wars. There has been no social structure put in this place for policy. So if we aren't having a vision for a certain country, how do we expect money to come in and fix something that there's no vision? So policy 101 is really breaking down social, economic, and political structure and what that means. And why this is important is because, as I said if really economic and political and money was the answer, why wouldn't we just take what's worked for the developed and third world nations and put it onto the developing nations? We would have all done that, and we would all be saying, la, 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 here we go, problem's fixed. But, it's been centuries, and that hasn't happened. The problem's getting worse. We now have 65 million people who don't have citizenship anymore. So that number's growing. So what is policy, and how do you influence that global place, and how is you as an individual can make a difference? So I'm really excited about it. Those are the 4 pillars that, with all my research of 10 years, with my master's, with being all over the world, corporate, coaching lots of people, these are the things that I've really seen are impactful for people to start living into purpose, start living into abundance, start living into part of being the largest peaceful army of love. And if you're here, like I said, this is the most transformational live that I've ever done. It is the launch of Global Citizen University. I have a request. So I'm requesting 6 to 8 founding partners. 6 to 8 founding partners that are faculty members of this. And these are STEM leaders, social entrepreneurs, and people who have devoted their whole life to understanding social injustices and global change. Those are what the 3 types of people I'm looking for: STEM, social entrepreneurs, CEOs that have devoted their life to this. These are the 6 to 8 founding partners I'm calling in and looking for. This is a vision you care about. You know that there's going to be global passports, global citizen passports, that's on the way, that's coming, which is a reality. There'll be a global tax for transnational corporations, and there'll also be one for any online business because you're taking up an international space. You're someone who's devoted your life to this. I invite you to reach out to be on the founding faculty of this. We already have 2 founding members as well, and we have some teammates as well. But this is for leaders who really care to make an impact. This is for the CEOs, the STEM leaders, the social entrepreneurs who want to fit into one of these pillars, to teach their life's work into this, to be as the foundational pillars to Global Citizen University. For when Global Citizen passports come, these are foundational pieces that must come for people to understand how they can live with freedom. They can understand how to be a global citizen and what it means to be that. They can understand how to have purposeful contribution and create social structures. And lastly, they can understand by being them, how that can create policy influences in the world. If this is you, please reach out. I request you reach out. I'll let you know how to apply and the way that we will be starting. As I said, the first class will be started January 15th. These are each of the 4 semesters. of the foundation of the university. The second part of this is if you are vibing with this, you're like, I am definitely an activist. I'm someone who wants to make a difference. I want to be part of the largest peaceful army of love that's going to be contributing more than 590 billion to the largest army in the world. I want to be the most powerful army, not just with social, but also economically, that's actually creating social change, not with military. I invite you to reach out to see how you can be a student. We are currently taking applications on the wait list. You are someone who was like, Colleen, I definitely need to be a global citizen. I need to understand this. Or you want to get out of, you've never flown and this is resonating with you. You want to learn a lot about this. You want to learn how you can make a difference. I invite you to reach out, message me, and me and my team will be back with you on how to get involved. So I'm so grateful for these platforms. I'm so grateful for this movement. I'm letting you know this is the future. Global citizenship is the future. If you are a transnational corporation, social entrepreneur, online, or you desire to lift 80% of the world out of poverty, 65 million people that don't have citizenship, you want to see that we are equal to them and join them and getting an equal opportunity, and you desire to create the largest economy based on healthcare and education and people living with purpose and people living with impact and people living with love, I invite you to reach out. I invite you to see how you can be part of this. Because this is something, trust me, you will want to be a part of. This is something, trust me, with the hours of research, the leaders that are going to be on this leadership board, you will want to be learning from them. You will want to be learning from them. They are people, these leaders, these STEM CEOs, these CEOs of social entrepreneurship have devoted decades of their life to this. Decades of their life to this. This is something you will want to be a part of. You will not want to miss because of the impact we are going to have globally. So I honor you. I see you. And for the leaders and for those of you who are becoming global citizens, I'm so excited to hear from you. So excited for you to be part of this massive movement, this massive love movement. And I cannot wait for this to be the most transformational and revolutionary experience in the world, where it does not matter where you live, your race, or your gender. You will have an absolute equal opportunity to live your truth and to live your dream in this world that will never be limited again by cancer, social injustice, like I said, where you live, citizen, gender, none of it. We are human, we are one, and we are here to lift the vibration of this planet by giving every single citizen and human an opportunity. Super grateful, and I look forward to hearing from your application.